So, there are different devices that we can use for virtual reality. One of the first one was the Google Cardboard. It was created by Google in 2014 as a simple way to actually have virtual reality. As you know, there are many multiple devices out there, but they usually require a high spec computer and they're not so easy to use sometimes or to acquire. So on this scenario, Google decided to create one just using a cardboard and two Fresnel lenses. Okay, so the idea was to make it really cheap. What it uses is the mobile phone, the screen of the mobile phone, so it can show information. And since our mobile phones also include the gyroscope, we can know the rotation of the head. Now, this is a really important thing because this is one of the main differences between this device and other devices. The only thing that we are going to get from the user is if they touch the screen or not, and the rotation of the head. That's both on X, Y, and Z. Okay, so if we rotate our head left, up, or we tilt it, the device can recognize that, but the device won't recognize if we are standing up, or sitting, or crouching, or moving. Okay, so that's very important thing. And since we only have the screen for this, it's like we have a one single button. You can see it from the picture right here that it's similar to the old Mattel devices to be able to see this carousel. It was called the Viewmaster. So we have something like a clicker on the top right most of the time, which just touches the screen. We cannot decide exactly where to touch the screen. This is very important as well. So most of the time what we use is if we keep our heads pointing to the same position for a certain amount of time, let's say 5 seconds, that means that maybe we want to select that object, or we can also use that touch to send the information. So we need to be rotating the head all the time to be selecting between menus and everything else, which makes it really hard if you want to have like a keyboard, imagine a keyboard on this kind of devices. Okay, once it is ready, we are going to build this application into an Android or iOS app. Okay, so it's very important to understand this part so we know that we are actually going to have to use Unity and a certain plugin which comes from Google, and we will talk about this in the next part. So just think about that. Another important thing is the size of the phone. If you're using a phablet, it's not going to fit, nor tablets. Okay, it is designed for mobile phones. I have tested with many different phones and they fit, and there are many different headsets out there. It's really hard to find a cardboard one right now. You need to manufacture it, but it's easy to find plastic ones that go from around 300 pesos all the way to a couple thousand pesos. Okay, so you can search online and find one of these and use them. All right. Okay, so we can start using the Google Cardboard with Unity. We will have to follow a couple of things. The first one is that we need the XR plugin for Unity that you can find from this web page, which is the developers.google.com for Cardboard, specifically for Unity. This will lead you to this GitHub site where you can actually download the XR plugin. You can also see some of the instructions on how to do some things. It's really important to know that this works for Unity 2019.3.75.1 or later. And here you can see the step by step on how to actually accomplish this. So as you can see, it says that in Unity, go to the Window Package Manager and then select Add Package from Git URL. Okay, so if we copy this line, we should be able to use it. Navigate to the Google Cardboard XR plugin package. In the sample section, choose Import into Project. Okay, and navigate and you will find the Hello Cardboard. Here are the configurations for either Android or for Apple iOS. Okay, so depending which one you want to use, you can follow these ones. Okay, so let's jump into Unity and let's do this. Okay, so as we said before, we need to go into the package manager, and right here you can see that we have all the packages, and we can also go and find from a package from git URL. So I will paste. Okay, so instead of doing that, I will add it from the one that I downloaded. In case that you have git installed or if it is not correctly identifying the path, you can do this and you will see that now it can recognize the package. Okay, I would highly recommend that it's better for you to use Git directly because if there are updates, you will find them automatically. Otherwise, you will need to look for them. Okay, so now we have right here our package and you can see that we have the samples and I can import this one. So before doing that, I'm going to switch to iOS, which would be the platform that I would use. So it takes a lot less time right now than later after adding this package. Okay, so as you can see, it's just recompiling a couple of things, which is not very much. And now we can import this one. And as you can see now we have on samples Google Cardboard and we have the scene that we can use to start setting things up. So it's highly likely that we will use the landscape mode. And you can see right now the scenario that they have. So if I hit play, it's right there and it is working. Okay, so you will find the information about the player and the main camera right here and how they are tracking the actual information. Okay, and they have the camera pointer as well. Okay, so from this, if you want to look at the code that they included, you can just double click and see right here the code. So as you can see, it is currently using a raycast to see which is hitting right now. And if it is detected in front of it, it is launching a trigger. Okay, and its trigger press is going to do a on pointer click. Okay, so this is how this works and you can actually modify. Just remember that basically for cardboard we only have one input, which is whenever we use when we touch the screen. So we need to use the gaze so we can actually have something to modify right here, okay? And from there we can work around different kind of interactions that we can include. One of those could be using the raycast as you saw before, or anything else. It's really similar to what we already did with Touch. And the thing is that to be able to move it, most people what would do is to actually move their whole head around to be able to do something. Okay, so it's really straightforward. As you can see, the interactions only depend on this input. So we need to be really smart on how we create these interactions.